worthwhile for information in addition to what we have up here on the PowerPoint. So I would definitely suggest taking one of those, just at least for some quote-unquote leisurely reading. It is an eye-opener, but the contact information is on there for your local representatives up at the state. So if it is something you're looking into, or maybe if there's a grassroots effort, maybe with Miss Betty Crocker here, Ed in the back, they may want to get something started. It holds a lot more weight if it's coming from the actual citizens that it's affecting. I'm a registered voter as well. I can do that as well. As a law enforcement representative, we kind of work with the hand that we're dealt with. Not much we can do. Law enforcement across the board would say we want this all repealed, but that's not going to happen until the citizens actually come forward and make that change for us. It was voted in, whoever voted for it or voted against it. That's the way it is now. That's how our system works, but it's at the point where we may want to try and revisit that and try and change some things. So once again, up here on the front by the See Something, Say Something sign, there are the pamphlets. There's also some other handouts as well. There's gun locks for those of you who are gun owners, free gun locks up there for gun safety, and some other handouts as well. So just something to look at. So with all the doom and gloom we've handed out so far, how can we help protect you and your homes? A couple different ways. Who has video camera surveillance at their home or their business? Okay, good. Good to see that that's up there. Who knows if their neighbors have it, whether it's right next door, across the street? Perfect. Even with those folks that have video surveillance across the street, if something were to happen at your home, by them having that video, our officers normally will do a neighborhood canvass, which means if your home happened to be burglarized, bless you, they will go throughout the neighborhood looking for those other video cameras, or if they had an actual witness to the crime, which helps the Detective Bureau try and follow up on the suspects who did this. Somebody caught a license plate off of a vehicle, a description of the suspect, anything like that is worthwhile for our folks to investigate. So cameras are nice to have. It's all getting a lot more affordable now. You can do a lot of it on your own. You can go to, even at Home Depot, they have camera systems you can buy yourself, and it's kind of plug and play. They have Wi-Fi camera systems that work off your existing Wi-Fi at your home, so you don't have to have a major company come in and wire up the entire house for this, that, and the other. A lot of things are already set, basically almost plug and play, which makes it very easy and worthwhile for folks to deal with. So we've got, obviously you can see cameras here, alarm systems, even an Audible Alarm normally scares people out of the house real quick. A lot of times those guys that break into a home and they hear that, they kick that back door and the alarm goes off, a lot of times they're running the opposite way. They don't want to go in and try and grab what they can because that's bringing attention. All the neighbors start looking outside and go, what's going on at my neighbor's house? Why is that car parked in their driveway backed in? Why is that guy sitting in the driver's seat waiting for his buddies to come on in? All different things that we can kind of help to get you prepared to defend yourselves, not to scare you. I'm not doing it in a crazy type of way, just trying to make folks think about where they're at. If you can harden your home, basically harden that target so that you're safer in your homes. And obviously the big one, our favorite number here at the police department, 911. If you need us, you call that, we're coming real quick. So some of the camera systems I mentioned, there's numerous ones out there. You can go to Amazon, they have tons of them there. You can go to Best Buy, any electronic store will have them, computer stores have them. You can go, like I said, you can go online. You got August, Ring, Nest. There's there's Wi-Fi systems everywhere for the cameras. They work out great. A lot of them have battery power packs now, so you don't have to worry about wiring them in. Like I said, plug and play, so it works out fairly well. It just depends on your finances and what you're able to do at home. So some techniques that we would like to provide you folks with. Excuse me. So when leaving your home, who locks their doors and their windows? All the hands are going up. Perfect. That's what I want to see. We're in Southern California. In this day and age, if you want to keep it, you want to lock it. That goes for your home, your house, anything, your bike, anything you have, lock it up. It's easier to say, I know I have peace of mind by locking that door. At least you know you've done that part to make sure you've secured your house or your vehicle or your whatever it might be, your X, Y, and Z. Set your alarm if you have one. We've gone on calls before where something's occurred and we asked the homeowner, oh, you have an alarm, did you set it? No, I didn't. I hardly ever use it. If you're paying for it, you might want to use it. It's part of that thing of you pay insurance on your car for that one day where there's an accident, you want your car fixed. Same thing goes on your home alarm. If you're paying for it, you might as well use it. It's a service you're already paying for, you might as well use it. And once again, a lot of that goes to the point where when that alarm goes off, we'll know exactly what time they had the alarm activation. They'll know what time we received the call, what time our officers get on scene at your home. That way we can kind of backplay to see how long they may have been there before they were able to leave or by the time we caught them. So just different things to think about. Big one. Know your neighbors. How many people have lived in the city for 10 plus years? Quite a few hands, which is what I've expected from this city, which is a good thing. How many people know their neighbors? Each side, across the street? Excellent. That is the most important thing I would suggest to each and every one of you. If you don't know your neighbors, if you're new to the neighborhood, or you've just never really been outside talking with those folks, find out who they are. Not that you need to know all their business, but find out, oh, they work downtown LA. They're gone from 4 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. So if no one else should be there, all of a sudden there's a car parked in the driveway, the front door's open, and there's people moving things in and out, it's probably a clue that something's going on. But it's also good to know those people. This type of community, it's outstanding, the community support that we have for one another. So I'd suggest at least knowing that is the neighborly type of thing, but it also helps us on the flip side of things of what's supposed to be going on in your neighborhood, in your hood, right? Keeping good in the neighborhood. So, once again, I referenced keeping the good in the neighborhood. Betty Crocker has done that up on the northwest side of town. Ed Reese has his group as well. Bottom left. Sorry, it's hard to see from the different angles. So we've got a lot of different groups throughout the area that have kind of banded together within their certain neighborhoods or their regional areas throughout the city to make a kind of a crime coalition of fighting back against those types of things, which is outstanding. The neighborhood watch groups, we've kind of gone away from the point of holding the meetings and we'll put the signs up. We still have the signs. We can still do that as well. We've kind of moved towards the bigger signs over here on the right of if you see something, say something. We've all seen those throughout the city, the big red signs, you can't miss them. We're trying to get all of your eyes and ears that are out there throughout the city helping us. Because as you saw on that first slide, we have 4 guys or girls working throughout the city. So by having all of you out there looking for us, it is a force multiplier exponentially. So by having you helping us with that is phenomenal. So see something, say something. We will gladly take any call that comes in. We respond on any call that comes in, unless there's aliens landing on the Wilderness Park, which we probably won't go on. But anything that comes in, we will take that as a valid call and go and look on it. More tips on vacation. Who uses automatic timers for the lights? A lot of times now they have the Bluetooth or the Wi-Fi light bulbs. You can set them, you can change them from your trip if you want to change it up a little bit. Make sure you lock all your doors and sliders, all your windows. A lot of these things, Mr. Don Sturgis from Community Patrol will let you know about on vacation house checks. Who's used that program before? Perfect. Basically, for those of you who don't know what it is, when you're on vacation, you fill out a form. Mr. Don and his folks from Community Patrol go out and check your home. If they're able to access the backside of your house, they'll check all the doors and windows, make sure nothing's happened, to give you kind of sense of security a little bit that your home's safe while you're gone on vacation. Porches, entrances, and outside areas. Who has big shrubbery by their front door? Anybody? Be a good idea to maybe trim it back a little bit so when our officers are driving by at night or even during the day, they can get a clear line of sight towards your front door. Aesthetically, it all depends on what you want for your home, but just different things to think about. Things to kind of, once again, harden your target, which would be your home. Once again, the bushes and brushes and trees that may hide doors, windows, or whatnot. And anything valuable in your vehicles. Are we leaving purses, laptops, wallets, nothing in the cars? Keep your hands down. Make sure, if you do have to do that, wherever you're at, lock it in the trunk. But while you're doing so, kind of take a quick glance around. We've had people, like the lieutenant mentioned before, at EV Canyon, where hikers go up there all the time. We've all passed by there and there's cars parked everywhere. There's folks that go up there and act the part. They're dressed up in their hiking gear and they make it look like they're going for a hike, but they're watching you as you get out. You walk to your trunk, take your purse, put it in the back, shut the trunk, and go off for a hike. They know you're gone for probably a good hour. Well, all they have to do is wait till it's a quiet time, walk up, smash your window, or if you left your car unlocked, hit the trunk release or going through the back seat where there's that little flip down, and they've got your purse. So if you do leave it in your trunk locked in there, be discreet about it, or if you can do it from the inside, do that. That way they don't see. Because if they're walking by cars and they're looking in the window and they go, oh, there's a purse, there's a laptop computer, there's wallets, there's cash right there, they know what they can do. So they wait for that opportune time, go back, smash the window, and they're off and running. So keep those valuables out of sight. Lock your vehicle, lock your house. Remember, lock it if you want to keep it. Park and well areas. This city can be fairly dark at night depending on the north part of town. It's just the way it is. We don't have a lot of street lights, which makes it kind of nice. But if you're out parking in another city, say you're downtown LA, park in those well-lit areas. Don't park on those side streets where it's very dark. You want to be aware of your surroundings. Light is always nice. Light is our friend, not so much for the crooks. They do not like light because it makes it easier for them to be seen and see what they're actually doing. Vary your route, and then avoid the isolated areas. Those ladies walking alone at night, wait for another friend if you can. Keep your cell phone out, have it on the flashlight mode if ready. Keys in your hand as well. Just be aware of your surroundings. And once again, everything, safety and security measures don't need to be costly. It doesn't have to cost thousands of dollars to do all these things to your home. You can do it on the cheap now, which makes it kind of nice. Biggest thing, common sense goes a long way. So from that point, I'll hand it over to Mr. Don. He's grabbing his notes, and we're all set. There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There are 2 volunteer programs in Claremont. The Community Patrol Volunteers, I'm the coordinator for the volunteers. There are 22 of us. Don't count the picture because there aren't 22 in the picture. But there are 22 of us that are active. To give you an idea of how dedicated they are, out of the 22, if you add up their years of service, it adds up to 216 years of service. 216 years of service. We have 2 that have been active for over 20 years. We perform services that don't require law enforcement training. To give you an idea of what some of them are, we deliver documents and evidence to courthouses. We do live scan fingerprinting. We help out in the clerical department. We do traffic control. Any major event that requires closure of streets, you'll usually see us there because we're relieving an officer so they can go out and do what they're paid to do. And we can stand there and wave our arms as well as they can and just tell you go this way or go that way. And we also do some crime reporting. You've seen some of the examples of what we do there. One of the most probably obvious things we do is the house check program. Sergeant Ewan has already talked about it. If we can get in your backyard, we check every door and every window around your house. If we find a door open or a window broken, a door ajar, we'll call dispatch and they'll send out 2 officers so they can go through your house to find out is there anybody in there. They go in where the guns draw and announce that they're there, and then they make sure that everything's secure. They lock the door if they can, and then come out. And so we perform that service. And you can see some statistics here. 929 houses. We check them 56. That's about 5 times each house that we check. While we're doing this, we have to drive from house to house, so we're actually providing another set of eyes and ears as we patrol through the city. We also try to hit all of the shopping centers as we're driving around, and we also go through the the parking lots of the hotels in town as well. A lot of you also have already signed up for it. If you want to sign up for the house checks, you can get on the Claremont Police website, and you'll find a form that you fill out. You've got to bring it to the station, show your ID, so we're making sure that you are the person who lives in that house before we come check it. You can't bring your neighbor's house check card in. You've got to bring your own card in. The other volunteer service we have is a Community Emergency Response Team. This is a federally managed program that started in California, but now it's run by the federal government. They provide a 20-hour training program that helps the individual be prepared to take care of themselves in case of a disaster. Hopefully, if they take care of themselves, then they're better trained to take care of their family and their neighbors, and then even possibly the community. you can see what the training subjects are. We have a training program starting in September, September the 11th. If any of you are interested in that, I've got a few flyers. Come see me afterwards and I'll tell you more about that. If you go through the training, the 20 hours of training, you can say, thank you very much, I really like that. I know how to better take care of myself. Or you can say, I'd like to volunteer and become a member of the Claremont Emergency Response Team. And if you do that, we fingerprint you to make sure you're a good guy. And we then issue a uniform and make sure that you're willing to commit to spending some time helping out. There are over 100 members in the Claremont CERT program now, and we have periodic training, quarterly training, where we just reinforce the stuff that we learned in these 20 hours to begin with. So that's another route. So you can be more active in Claremont if you want to go through the program and then help out with the volunteers. A small group within that 100 has prepared a neighborhood preparedness presentation. It's for those who say, I don't want to spend 20 hours going through all this program. So it's a small, we come to your house, you sign up and say, okay, I've got some neighbors or friends that want to come in and find out about this. So you sign up. We come to your house, got all the equipment, got a screen, a projector, computer, and it's a 45-minute program where you can see what we present. It's basically, again, a summary of what you learn in the 20 hours, but it's brought down to a 45-minute program. If you're interested in having someone come to your house and do that, just call the police department, and they'll arrange to have the person contact you. And who am I turning it over to? There you go.
All right, we're getting there, folks. We're almost done. Almost done. So we've gone through a bunch of the different preventative measures. We've given you some stats. Now to a couple of different things that the police department's been doing as well. First thing real quick, we used to have the National Bike Registry, which has now changed to 529 Garage Bike Registry. They've combined both their sites now. It's actually accessible by your Apple or your Android phone. It's a free bike registry. So those of you who have bicycles, and in Claremont, I think a majority of people have bikes, it's a free bike registry. Some of these pictures right here on the bottom left are ones that are out in our impound lot at the police department of bikes we've either taken from a person who's stolen them, or we've found them as a found bicycle, and we can't find the owner because they're not registered. So those of you who have bikes, you can go onto this website, and I'll click to it in just a second for the actual website address. You can go on there, register as many bikes as you want for free, which is always a good thing to do because there's times where those bike thieves hit those bikes and they're off and running. They're down at a pawn shop before we know it. By the time we even get to the point to take that report, that bike's down there, and unless it's registered, that pawn shop person doesn't know that it's already been registered through a registry such as this, and chances of getting that bike back are unfortunately slim and none. So I would definitely urge you, those of you who do have bicycles, they haven't been registered yet, go to the site and register them. If you did happen to register your bike through the National Bike Registry, they have a tab on the website to make sure that converts over to the 529 Garage. So definitely worthwhile to take a look at. And here's the website right there. Also, if you go to the Play Store or the Apple version, I'm not an Apple guy, so I couldn't tell you which version that would be. They do have the actual app for it on your phones. So if that's something you want to do from there instead of a laptop computer, you could do that as well. These are actual bikes that have been seized for evidence or found property. So we have quite a few that are hanging. I mean, there's quite a good amount of bikes that we'd like to get homes for them or actually get them back to the actual owner. So register those bikes if you would. Now, like I said, on to different things that we've kind of departed from the past several years. Recently, we've started up the Coffee with a Cop program. I don't know if any of you have attended those events yet. We've done 2 so far, which the officers love it. It gives us a chance to get away from the typical, I'm at your house, what happened, how can I take a report, It's our folks buying a cup of coffee with you to talk with you about anything and everything. Whether it's you're new to the city, which this gentleman is right here. I met him at the spring celebration. It's just different things where we'll talk about anything and everything with you to get outside the realm of just, I'm an officer, I'm here, I gave you a ticket, or I'm here taking a report for the stolen bicycle. It gets us outside that realm of us versus them, or our guys in uniform and our folks here. We're trying to make it more a community outreach program, which is what it is. This program's been around. It started out in Hawthorne about 20 years ago. It's now grown throughout the U.S. and internationally. So we've latched onto this program. We really like the way that it's going. Like I said, it's been our second one so far. Excuse me. We have another one planned coming up. We're going to do them every 2 or 3 months. The next one happens to coincide with this program, which is a Pink Patch Project. Who has seen pink patches on officers' uniforms before? Any idea why they're on there? Exactly. We're finally joining this program as well. We're all very excited. So month of October, all of our officers, you'll see them wearing pink patches as opposed to the blue and yellow that we have. You can also purchase these patches. Now, normally, per our policy, we don't trade, loan, sell, or give away our patches. That's just the way it is, especially the way things are after post 9/11. These, however, we do. And we're trying to save, well, not save, but make as much money as we can to donate to, this year, it's the City of Hope Cancer Research Center. So it's actually for a good program. If you are interested, they have the patches at the police department. Our records clerks are able to help you out with that if you want to stop by and go down there. I'll be out at the 4th of July event. We'll be selling them there. Any event that we're at, I want to have a booth set up to have those out there. Chief, what's our count on the patches we have so far? Yes, ma'am. We have 1,600. I told her that's probably not going to be enough. Everywhere I go for training classes, all the other agencies in the area know what our patches look like. A lot of times people don't really see what those are. They're cross pistols from military police. One of our chiefs way back in the day was a former military policeman, brought that on board. We've never changed that, and I don't think we ever will, as far as the chief says. But this will be an opportunity for them to actually get one of our patches finally. Yes, ma'am. The question was if we'll be at the Pomona Fair. I'll try and get in contact with them. I know they had a booth there, and I've heard that people went specifically there for just that booth, through the lines and everything just to get to that booth. They sell T-shirts and whatnot. Per the chief, I will be there. You got it, chief. You got it. So like I said, a couple different things that we're doing outside the realm of just crime prevention, crime statistics, things to show what else we're doing for the city, trying to get that community outreach program going a little bit more than what we've done before. We've done tip a cop in years past. It's kind of hit or miss when we do that. These two things are things that our officers are really excited about. So whenever we do have the next one, they're normally in the Courier or in Everbridge. Who all signed up for Everbridge throughout the city? A few hands. Everbridge is an emergency notification system, which anything that comes up, whether there's helicopters flying around, there's another fire at the Botanical Gardens, there's an event like this, there's a Coffee with a Cop event, we tend to put things out on this website. So we haven't gone towards Nixle, but if you want to go and sign up for this, we have quite a few folks sign up for it as well throughout the city. But just by show of hands, I'd say it's less than a quarter of the people in this room. So I'm sorry? Okay. So how many people have signed up?